Hey fellow beaders, it's JP and it's Bead Stash Sunday. So we are going to be making these earrings today, or well, I'll be showing you how to make them anyway. They're just a fun, cute pair of earrings and they make up quick, and there's a lot of bling to them depending on the type of beads you use and what you're going to need, and it's not a lot in terms of materials. So per earring you're going to need some seed beads. You'll need 5 3x5 rondelles, 10 total, so per earring, or for 2 earrings. And you can substitute if you don't have those 3x5 rondelles. You can use anything 3mm, so rounds, or pearls, whatever you have, bicones or fire polish. So those are your options. You pretty much can use just about anything. You'll also need 6mm rounds, and again here you can use you'll need 4 of them, 6mm rounds. And again, you can substitute anything you got. So you got some pearls, bicones, fire polish. They have to be 6mm, and these have to be 3mm. The size is the important thing in order for this to sort of work. And you'll need a small pile of superduos. I think it's about 24 that we're using. 2, 4, 6, 8, 60. So 36. Sorry, 36 superduos is what you'll need to make a pair. And of course you'll need some ear wires for the earrings. Anyway, I hope you guys like this tutorial. I think I'm definitely going to do a bracelet probably for next week. So you might, if you're thinking of picking up some beads, you might think about buying extra for also a bracelet. Okay, let's get started. To begin our component, or our earring, what you're going to do is pick up 4 6mm beads and 4 11/0, and you pick them up in alternating order. Then go back through the beads to make the circle, and I think you guys have done that enough times to know how to do that. And then we're just going to make a knot. So it's just your square knot, just like so. And what I'm going to do is go through my 6mm, my 11/0, and just get the knot out of the way. Just like that. That's what you should get. All right, my needle came unthreaded. That's where you should be. What you're going to do is pick up a superduo, 11/0, and a superduo. And you're going to go into the next 6mm bead. Just like that. And we repeat this. So superduo, probably want to check and make sure both superduo holes are open. So this one kind of looked like this one was closed, but nope, it's open. So it's always a pain when you discover that the hole is clogged. So I'm just going through the next 6mm there. And I'm repeating. So I'm going to pick up a superduo, 11/0, superduo, and going into my 6mm. Once more, superduo, 11/0, and that one's broken, superduo, and go into the 6mm, and then I went into the superduo on the 11/0 there. And this is what you should have. Go into this last superduo, and I'm going to turn the work. I'm going to go up into the other hole of the same superduo. Just like that. And now I'm going to pick up a superduo again, my rondelle, and a superduo. I'm going to go through into the next superduo, like this. Then I will pick up 4 11-0 beads, go into this superduo, just like that. And now we do superduo, rondelle, superduo. And next is 4 11-0, so we're just gonna do this all the way around. Repeat, superduo, rondelle, superduo. Four 11-0s. Once more, superduo, rondelle, superduo. Four 11-0s. And then you want to go up into the superduo in this more recent round. So you're going through 2 superduos. I went through this top hole one and then this one here. And what I'm going to do is go through the rondelle on the superduo. So this is what you should have so far. I'm going to turn the work, go up into the top hole of the rondelle. I'm going to pick up an 11-0, or sorry, top hole of the superduo. Obviously rondelles don't have top holes. Go into the rondelle, give it a good tug, pick up another 11-0, and go up into the top hole. I picked up 2 there of the other superduo. Just like that. All right, now what you're going to do is pick up an 11-0, and you're actually going to go into the 6mm bead here. So in this case, it's my blue bead. We're going to go into that. And this is where you really want to give everything a really tight tug. Then pick up an 11-0 and go into the superduo over here. And give it a good tug. You want to make sure this is really, really tight. Pick up an 11-0, go through the rondelle. Pick up another 11-0 and go through the superduo. And just give everything a tug. So you want to force the beads to really come close. So now I'm going to pick up an 11-0 and I'm going to go into my 6mm round here. And just the millimeter rounds, I'm coming out of that 11-0 and I don't want that. So there we go. Oh, there it is. And my tail is here, so I'm going to move that out of the way. And this is caught. So you want it to form almost like a little cup, little semicircle there. Can you guys see that? I'm going to go ahead and trim the tail, get it out of the way. And now we're back to picking up 11 O's. I've really scattered the beads here. And you go into the superduo. So hopefully you guys can see that. You really, this just requires quite a bit of tugging. And go into, pick up an 11-0, go into the rondelle. So that's sort of the trickiest part, is to just push the beads into place. 11-0, superduo is what you're going into. Pick up an 11-0 and go into the 6mm. So I think you guys get what to do. I'm going to go ahead and have you finish up with the last group here. And then I'll show you the next step. So just making sure you guys can see that. So I finished adding all the 11 O's in place to get this pattern. And so I should be coming out of a superduo at this point. And what I'm going to do, I need to pull this a little tight. You can see the thread over here. Is go through the 11-0, the rondelle, let's see. So you'll have to go through the beads a couple at a time because they might not necessarily completely align. Then the next 11-0 here and the superduo. So this is what your piece should look like at this point. And in this next step, you're just going to pick up 4 11-0 beads and go through the superduo over here. And like that. This should tighten up everything and it'll reinforce what we just did. So now go through the two, all of these beads until you're exiting out of the superduo. So I'm going to go through the 11-0 and the rondelle. I seem to be losing my voice. Then the 11-0 and the superduo. And we pick up 4 11-0 beads. So just like that. And we're just going into this next superduo and make sure your thread isn't wrapped around anything. And this should pull everything together further. And it gives you a really solid piece. So here's what your component will look like so far. Now we go through the 11-0 and the rondelle. I'm doing this 2 beads at a time. Then the 11-0 and the superduo. Again, trying to make sure nothing is. Pick up 4 11-0 beads and go through the superduo. Just like that. Then we just go through the rest of these beads and we're almost done. So going through the 11-0 and the rondelle. And then the 11 on the superduo. Pick up 4 11-os, and we go into this last superduo here. And that helps pull everything together tight. And this is what your piece will look like. Here's what it looks like from the front. And we're going to do, so the last step is you can reinforce this further if you like. But you want to go through the 11-o and you want to exit out of the rondelle here. So this is the front, and looks great. So, and that's the sides. Okay, so the next step, what you're going to do is pick up 4 11-os, the rondelle, 4 more 11-os, just like that. And you're going to go back through the rondelle. And I'm going to go ahead, my rondelle's getting kind of tight because I've gone through it a few times. And then you're going to reinforce, so we'll just go back through all the beads. So I'm going through the 11-os, the rondelle, and then back through the 11-os again. And the rondelle. Okay, we have one last piece to do. Is you go back up through the 4 11-os, and you can do one more reinforcement, but I think my rondelle is getting pretty tight, so I'm going to stop there. And you want to exit out of the rondelle here on top. And then we pick up 6 11-os, 5 and 6, and we make a loop around the rondelle up here, and this will be for our ear wire to go through. And again, I'm just going to flip it so I can reinforce it. And go through it. So I'm going to go back up through the beads once more, and then I'm going to go ahead and tie some half-inch knots to finish up. So before I go into that rondelle, I'm going to go ahead and tie a half-inch knot between my seed beads and that rondelle. So there's my loop. Go through it, and then go into the rondelle. Now I'm going to make my way down the seed beads here. Do another half-inch knot between the seed bead and this rondelle here at the bottom. And then I'm just going to go through that rondelle. grab my pliers because I know it's a little tight. And then you can go through the superduos and basically weave your thread away or tie another knot. It's up to you. I think I'm good with knots. I'm just going to weave away here. Go through these seed beads and come out of this superduo over here. And I'm going to go ahead and cut. Add my ear wire through the loop. And there's our earrings. Came out, I think they're just a fun dangly sparkly earring, and I think I'm going to go ahead and probably make a bracelet too. So that'll probably be the next tutorial, is to figure out how to turn these components into a bracelet. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one.